Some people will tell you, the video game industry has a problem. There are too many games. A crowded September for video game releases illustrates a broader challenge in the market. By well-known clown, Jason Schreier. And this in archive, it's kind of scuffed, but it's necessary. Because I'm not playing Bloomberg. You have to understand, I'm not. Too much to play. On September 4th, the independent game developer Team Cherry released Hollow Knight Silk Song, the long-anticipated sequel to an indie gem that was 7 years in the making. Reviews pegged it as one of the best games of 2025. On September 25th, the independent game developer Supergiant Games released the full version of Hades 2, the long-anticipated sequel to an indie gem that was 5 years in the making. Reviews pegged it as one of the best games of 2025. Between these two instant classics came a slew of critically acclaimed games, including a remake of the beloved The Legend of Heroes Thrones in the Sky. I've only seen people complaining about censorship and bad, horrible localization, so that's kinda funny. The latest entry in the popular Borderlands franchise. I've only seen bad things about Borderlands 4, how it doesn't work, and even if it does, it's so extremely annoying. A cooperative puzzle game thrown 2 Lego pieces. There was also a new Dying Light zombie action game, an intriguing adventure game, and a new entry in the long-running Silent Hill franchise, which has also faced a lot of criticism. A lot of people saying, this is a good game, but not a good Silent Hill game. And people saying, this game is being carried only by having the name Silent Hill, because it has nothing to do with Silent Hill. And that was just September. Over the past few years, the video game industry has faced a difficult construction period, during which companies have laid off thousands of employees due to flattened growth. There have been many reasons for the shift, such as huge capital investments that didn't bang out. But one problem stands above the rest: there are too many video games. You keep saying that, and it's not entirely wrong, but you're not saying there are too many good video games, and that's really telling. In 2024, a staggering 18,626 games were released on Steam, according to SteamDB, a website that tracks data on the popular PC platform. That's an increase of around 93% from 2020, when 9,656 games were released. Have you seen the amount of poor games they release nowadays? Yes. Have you seen the amount of just absolute bloatware they release nowadays? Yes. Those also count as games. Nobody's gonna play those. Let's be real. This lot of new releases stems from a number of factors, including widening interest in games, versus cheaper and easier development tools, and lower barriers to entry. While nowadays everybody can just make a game and upload that to Steam. Doesn't mean it's good. Doesn't mean it's gonna get bought. There was once a time when it was impossible to create a video game and get into people's hands. So you had the publisher that could get you prime shelf position at GameStop and Walmart. But over the past decade, as customers pivoted en masse from physical to digital games, the playing field has been leveled. Most of the last year's Steam games were undiscovered and unplayed by the majority of users. Most of last year's Steam games were pure bloodware, or just insane porn games. A surprising number were received quite well. Of the 1,431 games released last year, to garner more than 500 reviews, an indication that they were played by at least a few thousand people. More than 260 were rated positively by 90% of more of the players. More than 800 scored 80% or better. Okay, what's the problem? Shouldn't this mean that the good games are getting played? Sure, it's a small amount of people, but indie games were usually played by a small amount of people. You're getting just blindsided by Hollow Knight's extreme success. The same could be said about Minecraft, at least back in the day, which was not a Microsoft product. Terraria and other games in a similar way. What about Palworld? We just talked about it. That's not normal for indie games. In other words, this is like the 1980s when the US gaming market crashed due to a flood of poorly made products. Today there are too many video games and many of them are great. And no, I don't think this is true actually. You say many of them. What does many mean in this case? You're talking about 1,431 games released last year with more than 500 reviews. We're talking about that more than 260. Let's say this one. More than 800 score 80% or better. That means that 800 games of 18,626 are good. That's less than 10%. That's about 4% of games that release are good. By these standards you put here. What are you talking about? The thing is, sure, nowadays you don't need to spend a lot into physical copies, so you can just make pure slop and upload that to Steam. These titles are also competing not just with new games released over every year, but with console service games designed to keep people playing forever. The three most played games on Steam are most always Counter-Strike, which is free to play, Dota 2, which is free to play, and PUBG Battlegrounds, which I'm pretty sure nowadays is also free to play. All multiplayer games that have been around for years, they're also free. Some of the other biggest games in the world, such as League of Legends, free LMAO, and the top titles on Roblox, free, will be alongside them if they were on Steam. Oh, look at that! Most played games, all of them are free. I wonder why. Kids don't have a lot of money. That's why. The market for new video games isn't just oversaturated, it's nearly impenetrable. That sounds a little bit suspicious. Tens of hundreds of people are spending years of their lives developing games that are destined to get lost in the sea of new releases. You're assuming that most games that release have actually a lot of work behind. That's not necessarily true. Especially nowadays, there's a lot of AI trash there, come on. It's no longer enough to simply be a good game. More than 120 games released in 2025 have scored higher than an 80 on Metacritic. The review aggregation websites, the ones that earn more than a 90, tend to hit, but many of the others have failed to take off. But this is the problem, you're trusting games journals. That makes sense because you're one of them. Let's take a look then. Let's take a look. Let's see. These games, they show us 80 here. What do we have here? We have League of Party, okay. We have Gears of War, sure, that makes sense. Just the next answer. Lucky Dragon, Party Yakuza in Hawaii, 79. Okay, we have Civ 69. So what do we have here? We have a bunch of games that people don't really know about. Storm Threads, no clue. Begin is watching? No clue. Tempest Rising? No idea. Want to Stop? No idea. All the Skies? Who knows? Avowed 80. Avowed over the Part Yakuza game. Yeah, that's probably fair. Spiel? No idea. Time Flies? No idea. Stories from the Soul, the Gun Dog? No clue. Amazon, who knows? Crown Gambit, Kill the Glisman. And I'm not even saying these games are bad. I'm saying, who knows about these games? I don't. Assassin's Creed Black Samurai, 81. Borderlands 4, 81. Yeah, it shows. Oh! The Triforce. Star Wars Outlaws, 81. Hilarious. Also, this game released last year. So, what are you even talking about here? Batch games we still know. Dragon Ball Kikishin Squadron, 80. That's just a League of Legends clone. I say League of Legends, but you know what I mean. It's just a mob slop. Popcom, no clue. Drop Duchy, no clue. Off, no clue. It's just a bunch of stuff we don't know about. And the games we know about are not that good either, so Ghost of Yote, 86, sure thing, pal. Deltarune, Lamau, Silent Hill F, Lamau. Yakuza, sure. Director's Cut, it's not new. Where we can do this? Metal Gear Solid Delta, something. Snake Eater, sure. It's just a remake, more remake slap. Cyberpunk 2077, Ultimate Edition, another re-release. See, Quartet, that's not a bad game. A little bit of the demo, seems good. Re-release, re-release, Hades 2 is fair, Legion 33 is fair. Some of these are also fair, I guess. Well, this is a re-release. Monster Hunter Wilds, Lamau, another re-release, another re-release. Is this actually no, or is this Definitive Edition? Isn't this a re-release too? Get out of here. Oh, they're releasing so many games! Are any of them new? I guess some of them are. The main reason that games such as Wildgate and Soderfolk, both developed by Dreamhaven and released this year, the positive receptions struggle to make a dent. The list goes on and on. Advertising is still a really important skill to have. I'm sure there's any solution to this problem. Returning to the era of gatekeepers would be a regression. Regression? I think you mean an upgrade. And the increased democratization of game development has led to more creative and interesting product all around. Democratization of game development? What are you talking about? I know what you mean. Why are you calling it democratization? It's just the free market at the end of the day. I don't get it. It makes no sense. This cloud may be intimidating for players, but it also presents them with more choices than ever before. So long as they can ignore the FOMO of not jumping on every new release as soon as it hits. I'm not gonna jump on every new release as soon as it hits, because most of them are extreme trash. But the companies investing hundreds of millions of dollars into games that need to move huge numbers to break even, there's no small challenge. It's just getting harder every year. Yes, it's getting harder every year because they keep spending more and more while doing less and less. And that they're actually working less. That was spilling a lot, it's not even that. The products are worse and worse. To an unacceptable degree. So get out of here. With your nonsense. Once again. That's why they keep releasing games. Releasing games, if you will. What to play this weekend? The 1.0 version of Hades 2 came out this week after a year of early access, and I'm looking forward to spending more time with it. Like its predecessor, this is a roguelike action game, telling a beautiful depiction of Greek mythology. I've seen the beautiful depiction, it's not for me. Some of the characters look really ugly. The game stars the goddess Melino on her quest to defeat the Lord of Time, Kronos, with the assistance of a whole bunch of other gods, Zeus, Metro, etc. Each divinity offers a powerful boon that lets you blow up monsters in various creative ways. Put a lot of hours into the first game, and the sequel appears to be bigger and better. So is this just an excuse to plug in Hades 2? Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Y'all keep complaining there are too many games, and I keep seeing posts on social media. Oh, gaming is so bad. Look at all of these games. Are you gonna tell me they're all bad? I mean, you showed me like 25 games and like barely 2 are good. And sometimes half of the things you're showing me are re-releases again. And you know why? We all know this is just a bunch of BS. Out of nowhere, roguelike hit Megabong sold 1 million copies in 2 weeks. Solo Creator says, I did the spaghetti with extra sauce tonight. Hilarious. I didn't know anything about this game. It just appeared. It's been out for what? Less than 3 weeks? It's been a huge success. I don't have the numbers here, but they're reaching a constant concurrency of players on Steam of 80,000. Numbers that a lot of AAAs don't reach. Why is that? Well, this game is like $10. I think it's less than $10. I think it has some sort of sale going on because it just released. And the game is fun. Wow! Holy! Is it really that easy? How is that possible? Yes, it's really that easy. It's not a case of, oh, there are too many games. It's a case of, there's too much trash. And I'm tired of pretending otherwise. Cannot blame me for that.